If you ever had interest in making your own tackle or tying your own jigs, that sort of thing, this unboxing is going to be interesting for you. This is a package I just recently received from Barlow's Tackle. They sell a lot of stuff to, make your own jigs and that sort of thing. And then I got a bunch of jig heads, a bunch of skirting material, and some more supplies for tying my own jigs. This is a hobby that I'm going to be picking up over the winter, and I'm excited to get into it. Start off just by wishing you all a happy holidays. I hope you are able to get some time in with the family, or just, some alone time to rest and relax. And I hope you do have a good time over the holidays here. As winter continues, fishing is just not happening for me. The water was just a little bit too cold. We don't really get hard water where I am. I mean, the temperatures right now are still just floating around 0. Just enough to keep me away from the water. So over the winter, I wanted to pick up a new hobby. I wanted to start making my own tackle. This is something that I wanted to kind of just, get into, doing this jig tying, that sort of thing. Eventually making my own jigs, making my own tackle, and hopefully, at some point being able to sell this. It is just something I've always had a lot of interest in, and I decided to finally take the plunge. This package, man, I have been waiting a long time. As you may know, if you're Canadian, or if, you follow anything to do with a Canadian company, we have been struggling with this Canada Post strike. It's been like a month now. This was supposed to arrive on November 15th, the day they went on strike. And unfortunately, they got held hostage. Whatever, it's here now, so we get to open it finally. And I can start this journey in my jig tying. So I might have went a little overboard on skirt colors. I really just want to play around with colors. The reason why I want to get into tying my own jigs is because a lot of the time I find that I just have a hard time finding specific colors that I like. I like a lot of black and chartreuse, things like that. There's only a few companies that I know that I'm actually able to consistently find jigs with these colors. A lot of darker stuff. I even like some hot pink in there. I think hot craw is a color I've seen before. It's black with a little bit of pink. Just different things, right? Different things, different chatterbait colors, things like that, of course. So I want to just, get a whole bunch that I could experiment with, and that is what I did here. So for the most part, these are their classic colors, just meant to look like a basic standard flat color. This is the black skirting material, as you can see. Yeah, just black. I got a bunch of this stuff. Black is a color that I just love to fish with. Black jigs, black plastics. It's a nice dark color that works in almost all conditions. This year is a classic colors in white. Once again, just a flat white. So another very versatile color. Works really good with swim jigs, that sort of thing. And I'm sorry if any of these are hard to pick up in the plastic themselves, but this here is black with red flake. And yeah, pretty standard again, but black with red is something that I think will look pretty nice on like a darker swim jig color. We have some pearl pepper with blue tint, and this is another pretty cool one. Hard to pick up on the camera maybe, but that blue tint in there is gives it almost like an iridescent look. And I think that's pretty neat, Just some flat green pumpkin. This is another color that I really enjoy using. Another very versatile color for jigs, things like that. Definitely looks best on the bottom. White glitter with chartreuse glitter tip. White and chartreuse is my preferred color for chatterbaits. And as you're going to see in the jigs, I picked up stuff to start making my own chatterbaits. So I think the white and chartreuse was definitely something I needed to pick up. Here we got 4-color fire tiger. This is some yellow, some green, almost of a chartreuse, orange. And yeah, fire tiger is another great color, especially in darker water, of course. It just sticks out a lot. Something that I've never really seen is a fire tiger chatterbait. Fire tiger swim jigs you see a lot, but the fire tiger chatterbait is something I just don't find in the wild much. So I want to give it a try. This here is the black, brown, and gray multi-colored skirt. I bought a few of these ones. These are pretty neat. They kind of give off that like sort of bluegill, darker, bait fish vibe. And I think that would be nice on a little swim jig. Green, pumpkin, orange, and chartreuse. This one's a little all over the place, but like I said, I wanted to experiment, so I wanted to get some of these more experimental colors. I don't know what I'm going to use this for yet, but as I play around, I'm sure I'll find a use for this. We got white and holographic glitter. This is just a standard white skirt with a little bit of glitter in it. Nothing special, but you can never have enough white when you're looking at jigs. Green pumpkin, red candy. This one's pretty cool. It's just green pumpkin with a bunch of glitter in it. So as you can see, you have some reds, some purples, and some green glitter in it. I just think that's a cool looking color, so I decided to give it a chance. Some standard chartreuse, and this is something I'll pair with the white skirt, kind of do a bit of a half and a half probably. Which is such a standard color, but it does work. It always works for me, so something that I'm definitely going to be having to tie. Finally, I got a little bit of pink bubblegum. Pink bubblegum with black, like I've said before in videos, it's just a really cool color that I don't throw enough because I don't have a lot of faith in it. I don't know what it is, but bubblegum pink never really works for me. But if I'm tying my own, right, where I'm able to kind of keep costs down and make it a bit more affordable for myself, I want to experiment with colors like this. And so that's all the skirting material I have to make with these jigs. It's a little bit of everything, as you can see. I hope you get to follow me along over the winter, and I'll try to post updates as I experiment with colors and find things that I think will work together well. So I bought 25 of each of these jigs, and the reason why I bought these full made jig heads is, while it's not as cost effective as making my own, I live in an apartment and it's just not reasonable for me right now to pour my own lead. So I decided to buy these. A lot of these are on closeout deals where, from what I believe, is that Barlow's buys tackle from bait makers that are not doing it anymore, and they're able to pass on, the savings to us, the consumer. So this here is a 1/4 ounce ball head jig. And so all of these, as obviously, are naked. They don't have the skirt on them, but they do have the section there for us to tie our skirts on. And so a ball head jig is something that I've really grown to like throwing in rivers. The main one that I've used now is the firework jig. These are not easy to come by for me in Canada. I have to order them from the States. I have to pay duties, that sort of thing. And in general, they are just very expensive jigs. And fishing a river, I tend to lose a lot of jigs to the bottom. So it's something that I'm not really excited about buying a bunch of, at a higher price. So yeah, I wanted to get them just already pre-painted, everything like that, make it easy for myself to start off here. So this here is a ball head, and that weed guard is not bad at all. It's not too heavy, not too soft, and I like how it's very close to that hook point. I was a little worried buying these jigs that they'd be like maybe lower quality or something like that. That maybe these weed guards stick out a little bit farther from the hook point, and that's going to inhibit your ability to get a good hook set. So that's very nice to see that it's a soft, easy, weed guard, something that I look for when I buy jigs. Next we have here a 1/4 ounce swim jig head. This has an eye on it and everything. That pattern, as you can see, is black with a little bit of like some sort of anodized kind of pattern on there. Another very standard jig. This almost looks like the same kind of brand as those ball heads. That weed guard, again, is not too heavy, which is nice for someone like me. And again, doesn't stick out too far from the hook point, which I really like to see. So I'm excited to use these. As you can see, it does have a little collar there for tying your own skirts on. Next up, I actually have a lighter shroom head Ned jig. So this is a bit of a light wire hook. It's a 1/8 ounce jig, a little bit smaller, but it has a nice collar there for tying your own skirts, which I think is obviously pretty nice to have, and a very nice light weed guard. Z-Man makes a jig that's just like this, but it doesn't have the spot to tie your own skirts, so I figured I'd pick these up to try. Skirted Ned is something I have a couple different types. I don't throw it enough because the ones I have don't have weed guards, but the idea of a skirted Ned is pretty cool to me, basically just a smaller, finessey presentation, but a jig that you can throw on the bottom. So pretty excited to use these. These look premium quality as well. Next up, we have 25 white naked shaky heads. This is your chatterbait style head, and this is something I'm really excited to try. So I went ahead and purchased these jigs, and they feel pretty quality. It is a 3/8 ounce jig head, and I bought them in white just because I tend to use lighter colors for my chatterbaits. I've also had to go ahead and buy some blades for those, of course. These are the shaky blades that Barlow's offer. This is just the 0 hole and the bent up, just a very, very standard chatterbait blade. Also had to buy some terminal tackle for that. This is the Owner Pro Parts. This is a number 3 Hyperwire split ring. I've also had to buy some number 2 Owner all-purpose snaps. And these are what go on the front of your blade on your bladed jig. So all the terminal tackle here to make my own jigs, and I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm really, really, really excited to start making my own chatterbaits and just giving those a try. And of course, you need something to tie. So I went out and I picked out some flat wax nylon. This is just in black. It's 110 yards of it. This is 210 denier. Not quite sure what that means exactly yet. That's more of like, as I get into the fly tying, the jig tying, you learn, you pick up, terms like that. But this is the standard stuff that the guys use from what I can see online. And we picked up some 26 gauge wire. This is in black, very standard, craft floral wire, I guess. It's really what it seems to be, but this stuff is for wire tying jigs. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing a nylon, just wrap around tie, and then using wire to finish it, as that wire does just last forever. And I mean, I could even just do just wire, so as I figure out kind of what's easier, what makes more sense, I will use that. But I want to get both for now and just see what's going to work for me. And of course, there's some tools you're gonna need when you're, you know, tying jigs. So I went out and I picked this up a month ago. This is a Cabela's Easy Travel rotary vise, very, very standard vise. Just something easy. I wanted to pick one up. This was kind of cheap at Bass Pro, so I went and grabbed that. I also got some split ring pliers off of Amazon. I did not cheap out on these, as I know if I'm making like 25 chatterbaits in a sitting, I'm not going to want to be fiddling around with some split rings. So this is the Xuron split ring plier, and very standard, but it's going to be very useful, I think. You're also going to need a bobbin. This one is just a basic one off of Amazon. I don't say I cheaped out on it, but you know, I just, whatever, I'm going to grab one off there. I was expecting that package to come in a lot sooner, and I wanted to get one eagerly. But it's basically what the bobbin does is it holds your thread as you're doing your ties and all that sort of stuff. So pretty much a necessity for jig and fly tying is the bobbin, and this one fits perfect with my thread. So yeah, this is everything I need, I think, to start this journey. Very basic stuff. I just wanted to try some jigs and, you know, try tying some skirts and see where it goes. So I want to thank you all for watching over the year. I have some year-end stuff coming out soon as we get into January, and then I'm going to have lots of footage coming here from my room for the longest time until I can finally get back out in the spring. But either way, I hope you all can come along the journey. Please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for watching. Tight lines.